The People's Democratic Party and its presidential flag bearer, Atiku Abubakar, were in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, for the official flag of his presidential campaign ahead of the 2023 presidential elections. With their campaign officially launched, one can say that Nigeria has now fully entered the campaign season proper, with the PDP being the first among the 18 political parties gunning for the top job. Meanwhile, the 5 aggrieved governors calling for the PDP national chairman's removal, Nyesom Wike, Samuel Otom, Seyi Makinde, Okezi Ekpazu, and Ifeanyi Ogwuanyi of Rivers, Benue, Oyo, Abia, and Enugu State, respectively, were absent at the rally. Hello and welcome to Daily Politics. This is where we get to discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Now, joining me in the studio tonight to discuss the flag off of the PDP campaign, among other issues, political analyst and author, and also public commentator, Jide Ojo, will be sharing his perspectives. Thank you for joining us on Daily Politics today.
Good evening, Nigeria. Happy day, Malud.
Yes. All right, but before we begin the discussion, let's take this quick breather, and then when we come back, the discussion begins. Please stay with us.
I want to appeal to all Nigerians by standing today in Uyo, in Akwa Ibom State, to ask them to vote for PDP. If you vote for PDP, it will be a return to prosperity. It will be a return to unity. It will be a return to your safety. So there will be no more hunger and there will be security. PDP! PDP! Are you going to vote for PDP? Yes. Are you going to vote for PDP? Yes. Are you going to vote for PDP? Yes. Are you going to vote for PDP? 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 Raise your hand, I promise.
All right, thank you for staying. There you have it. PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar in Uyo, Akwa Ibom state capital, where the PDP is flagging off its campaign officially today. So we'll take a look at some of the perspectives to that. Now, this is coming about 2 weeks after the official declaration, or I would say the lifting of the ban on campaigns by the electoral umpire, INEC. So having the campaign begin today seems to suggest that this is a party that feels perhaps it's time to just move on with the campaign regardless of the crisis that is happening within the party. What's your take?
Thank you very much once again. Happy Eid al-Maulud to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. The issue of PDP flagging up his campaign does not come as a surprise. They were also very, if not the first, to hold their party primary, presidential party primary, when others are not too sure of their dates. At least among the frontline political parties, PDP always set the pace. They keep to time. The Presidential Council Committee, PCC, of PDP was also ready at the go on September 28th. They already had their list out and flagging up their campaign to rhyme with 10-10, 10-10-2022. It's also something that they feel will give them an edge. So it's a welcome development. However, as they say in local parlance, it's not the person that's going to call the police that wins a case. Yeah. Yes, they've started, and it's good for us to have something to talk about. And we should also not we should not forget that there is a phenomenon that is happening in the lead up to 2023 general election, which is the issue of how do I call it? Working for a candidate. You know, you see 5 million man mark, 10 million man,
the
1
rallies
million.
that we've seen across.
Yeah, the rallies. That to me is also a campaign in a sort of, because we had it even before September 28th, where one of the presidential candidates have his supporters, you know, marching, rallying support to show that they are the structure of the party. So that in itself is the slant that this 2020, you know, what we used to have is people having rallies, which would be, it could be in a stadium, it could be...
Yeah, but you know, this time around, these rallies are not anchored by the political parties themselves, so to say. It's more like these are supporters, these are support groups that have decided to mobilize, you know, to go on some kind of walk or rally and all of that. So would it be right to say that these are like campaigns, because it's not by the political parties?
It's campaign, because they have the flags, they have the souvenir, they have the mementos of the party being taken with them to identify themselves. It's a form of campaign. Yes, you are right to an extent that it's not organized necessarily by the party, but how many of the campaigns are actually organized by the party? You know, the phenomenon in this part of the world is that after the party have submitted your name to the electoral management body, which is INEC here, the rest is yours to foot the bill. So you have candidates having an independent campaign office outside of their party. So what they do, which is what the chairman of APC, or Progressive Congress, Senator Adamu, is trying to prevent. You recall that there was a leak of a memo purportedly distancing the National Working Committee from the composition of the Presidential Campaign Council, that there was no input from the party into the PCC. That is very instructive, because if
So would you say that the politicians or the political parties are now, or the candidates, so to say, are now finding other means, you know, of mobilizing support for themselves aside from the political campaigns? Because that also goes to to the issue of funding for political campaigns and all of that. We've seen how other supporters will mobilize and, you know, spend, you know, on behalf of certain candidates, but not necessarily under the political party.
That's the norm. That's the trend over the time. And it's very, very wrong. So I'm in full support of what Senator Adamu Abdullahi, the chairman of APC, is trying to do, to say, look, you cannot just distance yourself from the party that is sponsoring you. Let's have an input into your Presidential Campaign Council. Let members of our party, let's also give input as to those people you need to accommodate that have electoral value.
So, you know, because could it be that this is indicative of perhaps lack of confidence on the political party structure to actually deliver the mandate for the candidate?
You mean on the part of the candidate?
Yes,
that they lack confidence in the party?
On the party structure, maybe.
Not necessarily so. I think it's just the fact that parties themselves do not have the wherewithal to run campaign on behalf of their candidate. You know what I mean? For instance, look at the huge sums of money collected for nomination fee. Then what happens? What happens is that they will tell you, we spent this money to conduct the primary. You could have spent all the money to conduct the primary. 100 million per aspirant, and you have close to 40 aspirants in a particular party. So the issue now is that because there are many that the party is sponsoring, for instance, the campaigns that have been flagged up now is for the presidential candidate, the senatorial candidate, and the House of Reps candidate. And it is felt that everybody will have to paddle their own canoe. So you have to set up your independent campaign council. But I like what Senator Abdullah Adamu is trying to do, to say, let the party make input, sufficient input, and tell you those that you are leaving out that have electoral value, that can help us win this election. Okay. Coupled with this fact that it is the party that has the responsibility to submit 3 reports to INEC. One is the annual report, which is due on March 31st of every new year, whether there is an election or not. The second one is election contributions report, which is due 3 months after the election. The third one is election expenses report, which is due 6 months after the election. If the party does not know what you are doing in your campaign organization, how then will he be able to write or present a comprehensive report of all the candidates that they are sponsoring?
All right.
The People's Democratic Party on Wednesday flagged off its presidential campaign in grand style in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, and interestingly, the home state of the chairman of the party's presidential campaign council, Governor Udom Emmanuel. The flag-off kickstarts the season of numerous campaign promises by politicians, all in a bid to secure the mandate of the electorate. However, it may not yet be a bed of roses for the PDP and its candidate Atiku Abubakar, as they are yet to resolve grievances which emanated as far back as during the party's presidential primary. This is because some aggrieved governors, popularly known as G5, led by Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, were glaringly absent at the party's presidential campaign flag-off. The governors are still insisting on their call for the resignation or removal of the party's current national chairman, Senator Yochie Ayu. Will the party's current debacle affect its chances and that of its candidate in the forthcoming election? Only time will tell, and maybe our guests in the studio have answers to some of these questions. Hello and welcome to Daily Politics. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight, we are joined by Frank Shaibu, who is the spokesperson to Atiku Abubakar on public communication. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hamza. How do you do?
I'm fine. We will take a short break, and when we return, the program starts proper. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Daily Politics. We are discussing PDP's campaign launch and matters arising, and we have in the studio Frank Shaibu. How was it yesterday?
Awesome. Amazing time. Uyo was on fire. The people
call the fire service?
Oh, no, there was no need, because this kind of fire, the aroma of victory is electrifying. Elections have not started, but what happened on the 10th, which was yesterday, Monday, interestingly, it was a public holiday. The people came out in mass. Particularly from the 9th, all roads were blocked. Everywhere was, the reception was tumultuous. It was amazing. And what it means is that it was a wonderful reception for the Atiku brand, particularly because of the fact that he brings a message of hope. And they know that he is one person who can unify Nigeria, because there is no time ever than no time ever than now that Nigeria has been as divided as it is today.
Well, before then,
Yes.
where did you got that crowd? Where?
Oh, the people of Akwa Ibom came out en masse. Don't forget that there are 31 local governments in that state. Akwa Ibom is a PDP state. Since the state started, the 3 governors that have ruled that state are PDP governors. Don't forget that. I remember that, in fact, in the last senatorial election, where their former governor contested. Do you know that he contested to go to the Senate under the opposition, one of the opposition parties? And interestingly, his people went there and thumbprinted the umbrella. And after results were declared and they said PDP won, they went to his house to felicitate with him. Thinking that he was the one, because they don't know any other party apart from the PDP.
Frank, there are these claims that you hired some of these people from neighboring states to come and populate the state.
How do you hire? Hamza, how do you hire?
No, it's normal in Nigeria, you know.
No. It's not for the Atiku brand. We're talking of a people who have never been as hungry as they are today.
We are still going there because these people, these people we saw on television, our reporters and all that, they wore crested vests, pickups and all that, and they were seen trooping from all the entry points.
Yes, because
who sponsored them?
You see, the truth is this. There is what we call the Contact and Mobilization Committee.
Okay.
Ordinarily, they would speak to the people. They knew that their unifier was coming to town. Everywhere was branded. The local governments, all the local governments needed identification. The various groups, political groups, needed to identify with the unifier. Because politics is about identification. You need to show that, look, we worked for your progress. They know that is the man who is going to become president. They needed to show their faces. No, by the grace of the Almighty. You know, there's nothing we do. We don't make presidents. The people will participate in the process. But the Almighty, who is the landlord of the universe, is the one who gives power to whom he desires. He sees the hidden things of the dark. He knows those who are lying to the people. He knows those who genuinely want to create a change and effect a change. So he knows who the power will go to. And for us, you know, we are just his messengers here on earth. And it is our firm belief, because we know what Atiku Abubakar represents, the people know what he represents, and that is why you saw them, they come out, the troop en masse out. You saw them coming like organic molecules, moving in chains, you know? So at a point it became an emotional moment. You know, there was a lap Atiku took. It's something that made me shed tears in that stadium yesterday. Something happened. You know, by the time he drove into the stadium, in a bus, he was not afraid of security. He stood by the door of the bus and drove round the pitch, waving to the thousands of people, both young and old. You understand me? And they came out, you know, in their numbers, and it was a very, very emotional moment. You know, you needed to see the excitement on the faces of these people, because they saw that, look, for them, a set of people who have been impoverished in the last 7 years, a set of people who ordinarily could afford maybe a bag of rice at 8,500 naira and can no longer pay 36,000, 38,000 naira as at today, and they see that this is the man who could bring the message of hope. Why would they not troop out in their numbers?
Well, you see, some people,
yes,
and it is all over in the mainstream and social media, that the same people that you people took to the Uyo Stadium, by tomorrow, if APC, NNPP, or whichever party, provided it has the resources to mobilize, the same people will go to that stadium or in any other state to also, you know, symbolize with, you know, the candidate.
When you say so provided they have the resources, we didn't need resources. We didn't need resources.
So are you now saying that you didn't?
I flew myself to Uyo.
Well, you have.
You understand?
But young people that you saw.
So many other persons, you know, made contributions. They came in there because, you see, it is about the people taking power back. They need to own this. They have to own the project. It is when you own a project and take the project as your own, that is when it will breed what we call passion. And that is what Nigerians are looking for. They're not looking for, they don't want to listen to liars anymore. They don't want to listen to people who are deceitful. They don't want to listen to people who have mechanized stories, storylines to tell them, to deceive them or manipulate them. They don't want to listen to people who have raised money from satanic sources to throw at them.
Yeah.
No. The issue here is this. Hunger is one. You see, I've said it many times before now, that the major determinant of the 2023 election is hunger and anger.
Okay, now we'll get to that. I just asked this question in order to see how you will react to what happened in Uyo.
What happened in Uyo was just mere passion.
Good. Now,
passion.
We will comment on our tidbit of today, which is also an interesting story here in Abuja, where President Muhammadu Buhari at the International Conference Center early today conferred national honors on 447 recipients comprising Nigerians and non-Nigerians who were labeled Friends of Nigeria. Notable Nigerians such as the Senate President Ahmad Lawal, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, Chief Justice of Nigeria Olukayode Ariwoola, Mrs. Nkozi Okonjo-Iweala, Ms. Amina Mohammed, among others, made the list. But some people are criticizing the long list of the recipients, saying there are many who do not deserve any recognition. Before we discuss the PDP campaign, what is your take on the event that happened today at the international conference?
For me, an Atiku presidency would have honored the soldiers who were killed at the battlefronts, defending defenseless Nigerians owing to the insurgency.
But that are soldiers, commanders.
Not commanders. We've lost litany of soldiers, young soldiers, vibrant young men and women in our battlefronts. So many of them, you see, with profound respect to you, so many of them have laid down their lives to save you and I, to save our lives and the lives of many of our people littered across this country. Those are the kind of names we expected to find on the list of honors, the honors list that were released today. Unfortunately,
when you look at the act, Frank,
yes,
the act, which was,
certainly not
in the 60s, right?
Yes.
It says people who do extraordinary thing for Nigeria.
Yes.
Are you now saying that these 447 people do not deserve it?
Certainly not all of them. A majority of the people on that list were populated by members of the ruling party. Drawn from the members of the ruling party who are in the Senate. Oh, let me take the members of the Senate, for instance.
Amina Mohammed, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Beautiful, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. No, I said some of them. I didn't say all of them. Some of them. Well deserved.
Before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting, which was held at the Presidential Villa today, President Muhammadu Buhari swore in Justice Olukayode Ariwoola as the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. The swearing-in ceremony was witnessed by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, governors of Oyo and Ondo states, Seyi Makinde and Rotimi Akeredolu, among others. Take a look at this.
Justice Ariwoola was appointed as acting Chief Justice of Nigeria on June 27, following the resignation of Justice Tanko Muhammad on health grounds. He was appointed a Justice of the Supreme Court on November 22, 2011 by President Goodluck Jonathan. This event is witnessed by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, some cabinet members, other justices of the Supreme Court, and Governors Seyi Makinde of Oyo State and Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State. The new CJN is coming in the thick of political activities, and he is appealing to politicians in the country to allow the judiciary function properly.
Law is not static, and that's why you have seen that the National Assembly had continued to amend the laws. And it is the law that the courts apply to the facts available. We shall continue to do justice if only Nigerians will allow us to perform and function without any pressure.
He's also promising reforms, which he says are already being implemented.
We are computerizing already the Supreme Court and all other courts of records so that the delay in filing cases will become a thing of the past. We are creating e-filing, we are creating e-diary so that lawyers can stay in the comfort of their chambers and contact the court, address the court by Zoom.
The judiciary in recent years has been tarred with allegations of corruption and bias, but there are those that can vouch for the new Chief Justice of Nigeria as a man that will ensure the integrity of the institution.
He is a very disciplined person, he is a team player, and he is an erudite person. These three adjectives qualifies him.
We counted ourselves quite lucky, and we look forward to supporting him to contribute to the development of the judiciary in Nigeria.
The swearing-in of the new CJN promises a new wave of change in the judiciary. It is coming at a crucial time when confidence in the courts as the last hope of the common man is essential, especially in the period immediately before and after next year's elections.
Indeed, the new Chief Justice came at a trying time for Nigeria. Elsewhere, today in Abuja, the coalition of united political parties, COOP, raised the alarm over an alleged plot to remove the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, in a bid to allegedly compromise the 2023 general elections. The national chairman of COOP, Ikenga Ugochinyere, made the allegation at a news conference in Abuja, where he said the coalition had also uncovered fresh plots to deactivate the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, from being used in the election. Here are more details on this story.
The chairman of Nigerian political parties, opposition coalition CUPP, and heads of political associations have intercepted intelligence of an alleged fresh plot against the 2023 general election, and this time being coordinated by leading figures of the ruling APC governors, led by a Southeast APC governor with controversial past, and another from the Northwest, who are working with their colleagues to perfect a plot to intimidate INEC leadership into abandoning the use of electronic transmission and upload of election results to the INEC server, deactivation of the BVAS machine from INEC server, and the creation of crisis of confidence based on trump-up charges that will lead to the removal of top officials of the Electoral Commission, including the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud, and other national commissioners who are insisting on the use of BVAS for the 2023 election and the irreversible use of electronic transmission of results.
That was COOP chairman at a press conference where he raised the alarm over alleged plans to remove the INEC chairman. Very serious allegation. Elsewhere, still in Abuja, today, the presidential campaign organization of Obi Detti unveiled a 1,234-member presidential campaign council list. The team also announced that the council will be headed by Mohamed Zarewa as chairman and Doyin Okupe as its director general. Take a look at some experts from the event.
Fairness on the part of INEC and relevant stakeholders to ensure that 2023 elections are free, fair, and credible. According to the Director General of the Campaign Council, Doyin Okupe, the country is at a critical time in its history and requires the political class to live up to expectations.
So at this time in our history, there can be no move ground in the requirement for informed, effective, and firm leadership to begin the hard work of turning around our national history.
He said the party will have issue-based engagement with the Nigerian people to ensure a new set of prudent managers emerge.
Why those who want to remain willfully or self-deceitfully ignorant may continue to jump for time these elections will be voted equity and immoral police, it is important to deeply reflect on the condition of political efforts and financial issues of citizens' reports.
The 1,234-member campaign council list has representations from the 6 geopolitical zones in the country.
That was the unveiling of the campaign council of the Labour Party. There was, however, an unexpected twist when shortly after the unveiling, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Comrade Arambabi Abayomi, denied the involvement of the party in the unveiling, describing it as a mischievous political shenanigan being perpetrated by Mr. Doyin Okupe and then an anomaly. This particular story will be the focus of the conversation today on Daily Politics. Hello and welcome. I am Hamza Idris. Joining us to discuss this issue, we have Isaac Balami with us in the studio. He is the Deputy National Campaign Manager of the Labour Party. We are also joined by Nana Kazaure, who is a member of the media team for the Obi Datti campaign organization. Welcome to the program.
Good evening.
Nana, welcome back. Mr. Balami, you are also welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, but before we go into the kickstarting of the campaign of your political party, you've seen the tidbits we have. The first one on the swearing in of the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. And the world, is aware of the circumstances surrounding his arrival, the resignation of Chief Justice Tanko Muhammad. And before then, what happened to Onagen, which led to the coming of Tanko. Now, what is your take on the swearing in of the new Chief Justice? Isaac.
Well, I think, like you did say initially, he's coming at the most crucial time of Nigeria's history. He's coming at a time where the international community and the entire country, Nigeria, is watching. The bottom line is that I wish him well. I expect nothing but equity, fairness, and justice from him. However, I'm a bit concerned, and I think there is a need for him to change his perception.
Okay.
He said something that he will do his best if Nigerians will allow him to.
Okay.
That is not acceptable.
All right.
Because there are 3 arms of government, and the judiciary is independent. So the question of whether they will allow him to operate or to do his job properly, it doesn't even arise.
Okay.
We expect him to be the man that he is, the man of fairness and justice. I've read so much about him. I have so much respect for him. He should take leadership. He should remove Nigeria from shame. Because we don't have a good name out there. The world does not take us serious anymore. And if there should be changes, if the world should begin to respect our green passport, if peace, tranquility will return back to Nigeria, he has a major role to play. So his body language should be not that of asking for Nigerians or the powers that be
to give him an opportunity.
No.
Nana, did you share the same sentiment with Isaac?
To an extent, yes. But then I also believe that the Nigeria that we are moving towards, that we're galvanizing ourselves for, will give him room to work, and we will give, he will be effective. Because like he said, where I now agree with him is that the disrespect of our green passport or even our name. Meanwhile, I think Nigerians are one of the most amazing people on the planet.
Okay.
Nigerians are the most intelligent people you've met. Nigerians take a bad situation and can turn it into something that, more palatable. Nigerians in the media are doing amazing things. So yes, I do expect him to come and work. like he said, I've read about him. They've said it that he's very, very.
But how can he change the perception about the judiciary? You know, allegations that it is mired in corruption. What do you think he should do to correct this bad impression? Judges selling judgments, favoring people who do not deserve it, and all that.
He's a judge, and he should work well with people who can do the investigations. And if people need to be sacked, if people need to leave so that he cleans up the judiciary, then he has our blessing already. So Nigerians are telling him, sir, please get to work. Thank you very much.
Wow. Yes. Now, our other tidbit was on allegation by coalition of political parties. The Labour Party is part of COPE. They allege that there is grand plan to force the INEC chairman to leave office in order to pave the way for, you know, compromising the integrity of the 2023 elections. What is your take on this?
You see, first of all, my background is aviation. And as an aviator, even if there's a crash today, you are meant to allow the Accident Investigation Bureau to carry out a proper investigation as to what led to the crash before you can make certain conclusions. So in this case, as I have been wired from my background, I just hope it is not true. I just hope that this is not happening. However, you see, there's one thing. If it is true, I think it is obvious that Nigerians are tired of being fooled. It is obvious that enough is enough. You've seen what has happened in the last couple of months. Not by the Labour Party, not by the Ubidati campaign organization. Organic followership. Millions of Nigerians trooping, spending their money. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria.
So they will not agree to any compromise.
You see, we have gone past that age where you can just do and undo. You can't reverse it. And people are talking about rigging or no rigging. Those things, Nigerians, it is when people had no interest. When people felt, oh, anybody can rule. On election day, people sit in their houses and just wait for the result. People are tired. I'm in Borno State. For 10 years, I cannot go for Salah or Christmas holiday. I lost loved ones I cannot visit. I'm not the only person. It's not about how comfortable you are. So it is obvious whether the current INEC chairman, whether whatsoever it is, the bottom line is that Nigerians will not take rubbish from anybody again.
Yes, Nana, Isaac is an aviation expert. You are a politician. Many political parties there making this allegation. Why do you think some people, and who do you suspect, that they want to remove INEC chairman? On what grounds? Why? Is it that he's doing a wonderful job, or he's incompetent that they want to remove him?
I cannot say that he has been incompetent. Based on his trajectory and the kind of work he's done, even the introduction of the beavers, and for us to be able to use accounts electronically, that shows somebody who is forward thinking. That shows somebody that really wants to ensure that his name goes down in the annals of history as somebody that made Nigerian citizens, the electorate, made our votes count. So, like he said, we hope it's not true that they're trying to either bully him and the INEC officials, because the crop of Nigerians that are moving now, the crop of Nigerians that are saying enough is enough, are very, very...
It's unprecedented.
It's unprecedented, and they are educating themselves. They are ensuring that... Let me give you an example. I know that ASU has been on strike for what, 8 months? And do you know what some young people have done? It is so impressive. They, rather than stay home, they've bought books such as the Nigerian Constitution. So you'll find somebody who's actually supposed to be an engineering student
reading the Nigerian Constitution.
Cover.
Yeah.
That's how far Nigerians are going.
Finally, Isaac, in Imo State, there is this allegation that someone went to court to compel INEC not to use beavers in the election and to reintroduce incidents form. Will you accept that as a party?
You see, again, these are all jokers. I think they're not reading the handwriting on the wall. I think a couple of them are very, very smart. They have retrieved. By their body language, you can see that they're like, these people, let's just leave them. Let them do what is right. You see, it doesn't even make sense. Like I said, the whole world is laughing at us. We travel around the world, we feel very, very embarrassed bringing out our passports. All these things happening cannot fly.
Families, friends, and millions of Nigerians heaved a sigh of relief on October 5 when stories filtered that abductors of the 23 remaining passengers of the Abuja-Kaduna train have released them. The victims had spent over 6 months in the bush in terrible condition. However, despite claims by the government that no ransom was paid for the release of the remaining captives, there are speculations that some families paid as high as $200,000 for the release of their loved ones. Others say that about 100 million naira was paid per abductee. This will be the focus of our conversation tonight, including how the negotiation for the release of the abductees was carried out. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. We will take a short break now, and when we return, the conversation commences. Do stay. Welcome back. Tonight, we are joined by the Secretary of the Chief of Defense Staff Action Committee, charged with the responsibility of negotiating with for the release of the Kaduna train abductees, Professor Usman Yusuf. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much for having me.
Prof is also the former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS. We're happy having you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Prof, until after the release of the remaining 23 abductees, not much was heard about this Chief of Defense Staff Committee. What was happening?
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Okay.
With all the noise in the background, we were doing our work. And we started, so this terrible attack happened on the 28th of March this year.
Yeah.
And on the 29th of March, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Ravoy, assembled us to see how we can help the non-kinetic arm.
You mean just a day after the incident?
Absolutely, and we've been at it since then. We've spent our Salah and we've been away from our families for 6 months. So, and it's always better when you're doing things like this for it to be quiet while the noise continues. Once in a while you see me breaking my cover and talking, but not about the work. So that's how it's supposed to be, and the result achieved is what we hoped for and what we got. But yes, the reason I'm going around media houses and talking is to let Nigerians know that, and I've seen it, watching it, that the government wasn't doing anything. The government doesn't care. The military doesn't care. But the honest truth, I know that because I've been involved for 6 months. A day after it happened,
wow.
We were in panel, 29th. We've been working, meeting family members, going into the forest, sending interlocutors, and meeting everybody. So what happened on the 5th of October was not the singular effort of one person or one group. It's everybody.
Okay.
Everybody came in. If anybody.
But before we get to that, who were the other members of this group?
They are honorable gentlemen that have served this nation in various capacities in this country, and they've offered their services again as volunteers to see what they can do. Among the group, of course, 3 retired generals that have
Generals
served,
in
absolutely, that have served to the highest level of this military in uniform, The three of them, between them, they have cumulatively they gave 100 years of service to this country. Wow. 35 years, 35 years, and 30.
The three generals.
Absolutely. Not only in Nigeria, but abroad in conflict zones. They're offering their services to see how they can be of help and trying to see how they can be a bridge between the kinetic and the akinetic component. And then we have academic, we have a diplomat that has worked in intelligence, you have Fulani elder. We were assembled for a very good reasons. Everybody brought in, enriched the group from all their experiences, and this is the result we got. It's not one person, but everybody.
How were you convinced that there was good intention?
From whom?
From the Chief of Defense Staff.
No. We've never doubted his intention. He's an honorable man. We met him, we saw he's not anyone you can approach. You have to gauge the person and see that this is a person you can do business with. We've never doubted his intention, and he embraced us from day one and escalated the idea to the president, who gave his support and approval to go ahead. And that did not in any way stop the military from continuing their kinetic component. So this is the akinetic part of the war.
Yeah, and that is the question I wanted to ask, whether it was actually wholly a military operation.
It is a military operation because we civilians, there's no way we could have done what we did without the military. None. And there's no way I can walk up to the president or any civilian can walk up to the president and say, I will do this. No. It was primarily a military problem that conceived and guided by the Chief of Defense Staff all through. What we got when we deployed into the field, we were supported all throughout by the military.
But I want to know this. Was it that all of you had a certain connection before you were brought on board by the Chief of Defense Staff, or they picked you individually?
No, you don't need any connection to do good.
Okay.
And it's not anyone that wants to risk his life and go into the forest and do that without being paid. People want to be paid for that. They say, no, that's not why we're here. We offered our services. We offered our services.
You mean pro bono?
Absolutely.
Prof, but there are allegations that lots of money exchange hands among you. Yeah, people are just saying that. Maybe you clear the air?
Maybe they don't know me.
Okay.
I left an agency, National Health Insurance Scheme, that has more money than all these governors running around. Money has never been.
Your motivation?
Absolutely, not me, not any of the 6 other honorable men in this committee.
You were 7 in the group.
Absolutely. Let me tell you.
All right.
No amount of money. No amount of money. Nobody can pay any one of us to do what we did. We did it for this our country. Because this is our country, this is our people, this is our land. Nobody will pay us to do this. We came to do this.
What was the motivation?
The motivation is Nigeria, the motivation is our people. You need nothing more. You need nothing more. This country of ours has given all of us a lot more than we've given back. So we sit down and watch or lament, like everybody else is doing, that, oh, government has failed, military has failed. What have you done? God Almighty will ask each and every one of us, what have you done? Tomorrow will be better because you've done your part today. We've done our part, and we'll do a lot more. We've been doing. These generals have served this country cumulatively 100 years in uniform, in battlefields.
Nigerians will vote for new leaders at different levels next year. And of course, campaigns have started in earnest at the national and state levels, with candidates and their political parties unveiling their manifestos to sway the electorate and secure their votes. This is amid claims and counterclaims by political actors on whether those that held sway in corridors of power in the last 4 or 7 years have done enough to the people to deserve re-election or opportunity to have their preferred candidates take over from them. This is Daily Politics, and I am Hamza Idris. Welcome to the program. Tonight, we will be interfacing with Dr. Sani Dawop. He is the governorship candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, in Plateau State. Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here. Viewers,
yes.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We will take a short break now, and when we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Welcome back. I have Dr. Sani in the studio. Once again, welcome to Daily Trust TV.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here in Daily Trust, and I want to congratulate Daily Trust for this television station. It's a milestone, and it's a timely program and intervention into the polity in Nigeria.
Okay.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. You are from Plateau State.
Yes.
And you want to be the governor of Plateau State.
Yes.
Why under the platform of ADP? Maybe I should start from here.
Thank you very much for that question. By providence, I've been through politics right for the past 31 years.
31?
Yes. Under tutelage, I started as a personal assistant to a governorship candidate, then NRC PDP, SDP.
That was during
Babangida.
Yeah.
So I was a PA.
The options were limited.
Exactly.
Two parties.
That's where I started. And I took a break, came back in 2007 to contest the chairmanship of my local government. And I will tell you, I was rigged out. As politicians always say, they don't accept that they lose.
2007. That was under PDP, if I get
under
it.
PDP,
Yeah.
I contested chairmanship of my local government.
Mangu,
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I never had the opportunity to fly the party's ticket, but I came second, according to them, in that primary election. And I say, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day.
Yeah.
And the opportunity has come up again. And I'm contesting under ADP because ADP provides a different platform. I've been through, like I said, PDP for 8 years, from 2007 to 2015, and then left the PDP to join the APC.
Oh, you also joined APC?
Yes, I joined APC. From 2015, I was one of the foot soldiers. I organized a fundraising for Governor Lalong in Abuja, even before he became the governor in 2015 here in Abuja. And it was the greatest and the only fundraising that APC had. It's on record. You can go and check that. The only fundraising in 2015 for APC that we did. Very successful in Abuja. I initiated it and anchored it and successfully executed. And that was the support. So I was there for another 8 years.
Wow.
But midway into the first time of the governor, I was not so pleased with their accomplishments. So in 2019, I left and supported the candidate of the Action Democratic Party.
In Plateau?
In Plateau, because for me, he was a better candidate in 2019. And by providence, I now find myself
to be the
candidate of this same party. But I tell you again, ADP was not the first party I wanted to join when I decided to contest the governorship.
Okay.
I still started with APC.
For the governorship?
For the governorship of Plateau. I did my declaration at the polling unit level, at the ward level, at the local government level, did all my declarations, well received, and then I met with the state chairman of APC, Rufus Bature, to prepare for my state declaration. And after that, I left, and through our research, we got intelligence that there was not going to be a level playing field.
This was a few months back, right?
Yes, this was in April.
Okay.
So in April, I decided to resign from APC formally on the 20th, and on the 22nd of April, I joined the Action Democratic Party as a member and decided I was going to contest under the platform of the ADP. But meanwhile, I had explored other parties, but I decided ADP was the best alternative. Even from their slogan, they said the credible alternative.
And I saw
that is what we want to provide to Plateau State people.
They have book as the
excellent
logo, right?
Excellent.
Okay.
You know, when you look at the logo of PDP, is an umbrella. You need an umbrella only during the rainy season. Here, most people don't find it comfortable to use umbrellas under the sun. And then the broom, of course, you use that only to sweep dirt. And who creates the dirt? The same people, you know. But for
so
the
you want to sweep them.
Exactly. So what we need to do, the ADP knowledge, because if you give people education, when people are knowledgeable, even if you build the best structures and people do not have knowledge to maintain and manage them, they will be destroyed and they will be rendered useless. So in ADP, our logo is a hand-holding book that's providing knowledge, leadership, guidance, light, and progress.
But Dr. Sani, at what level did you part ways with Governor Lalong?
Yeah, interesting question. Now, when I was working with an international NGO,
Bill and
Melinda Gates Foundation, I was privileged to be the desk officer in charge of government relations.
Okay.
And there was this new hub group of China that was visiting Plateau. I mean, they were visiting Nigeria, actually. Plateau was not on the program of the foundation, you know? And I said, oh, these guys are coming to establish a company into animal feed production. And if you are talking of that, the major raw material is maize. So after Kaduna State, which was actually penciled down for the visit, and Ogun State, I said, Plateau needs to be on that program. And I spoke with the country director, and she said, why not? And so I was able to convince her that we should put Plateau, but I said, first, let me call the governor and know whether he will be ready to receive this delegation, and then we can now confirm the arrangement for them to visit Plateau. So, you know, then I had already supported the governor, worked for him, so I've become close to him. Yeah, and we were on talking terms very frequently. So I gave him a call. I said, hey, there's this group of investors coming from China, the New Hope Group of China, the largest agribusiness company in China, then with an annual turnover of $15 billion.
Wow.
And they were coming to establish a company in this, and Plateau has the raw materials. Would you like to receive the delegation? He said, oh, that will be fine. So we arranged, we visited Plateau State. We even spent the night. He received us well. Okay. And the next thing was for them to follow up with a letter of, you know, comfort, some kind of commitment that the government is not to put one kobo. Okay. They are to put in their all investments. And the initial investment was about $200 million. And that would increase in 5 years to about $500 million. And I kept following up after the visit that
for the letter
do this letter to come out, and nothing came out. So I became highly disappointed. Honestly, that started saying, are we really serious as a government? And me coming in here with the kind of background that I have, I mean business, I'm a result-oriented person. So, but that didn't even part ways with me. He had the opportunity to visit the largest conglomerate in Africa, the Dangote Group.
Yeah.
And he sought
where
investment.
you work.
Yeah. Where he sought investments, you know, in Plateau State. And a team was set up, did some survey and gave some recommendations, but that too, nothing happened.